Did you hear about McDonald's new McDLT?
It could be the best tasting lettuce and tomato hamburger ever.
There's a strange graveyard in America. Not for people, but for food. Fast food chains release hundreds of menu items every year. New sandwiches, new tacos, new desserts. Most of them disappear quietly without anyone noticing. But every once in a while, a fast food chain accidentally creates a legend. A menu item people fall in love with. A menu item people obsess over. A menu item that builds a cult following. And then, for reasons that rarely make sense to the customer, the company kills it. McDonald's finally gave us our snack wrap back. Burger King's Cini-Minis have once again graced our breakfast menus, and the bell was unrung on the canceling of Taco Bell's Mexican pizza. But here is a list of menu items that we doubt will have their Lazarus act. Because when you start looking into it, you realize something strange. Those foods weren't killed because they failed. They were killed because they succeeded in ways the system couldn't handle. So that's enough talking for now. I'm getting hungry. It's time to grub. Now, if you want one of the weirdest ideas in fast food history, we need to talk about the McDLT. The McDLT was introduced in the 1980s, and the entire concept was based on a single promise. Keep the hot side hot and the cool side cool. Which sounds ridiculous until you realize how burgers normally work. When a burger sits in a wrapper, the heat from the meat slowly warms up the lettuce and tomato. The bun gets soft, the veggies wilt. Everything turns into a slightly warm, slightly soggy situation. The McDLT tried to solve this problem with engineering. Instead of one container, it came in two compartments. One side held the hot burger patty. The other side, well, that held the lettuce, tomato, and the condiments. When you got your meal, you assembled the sandwich yourself. It was actually a pretty clever solution. The veggies stayed crisp, the burger stayed hot, but the packaging was massive. And it was also made out of foam. In the late 80s and early 90s, environmental concerns about foam packaging started gaining attention. And suddenly, the McDLT wasn't just a burger, it was a symbol of waste. So the sandwich disappeared. Not because people didn't like it, but because the packaging became politically toxic. Sticking with McDonald's, now it's time to talk about one of the most fascinating failures in fast food history. The Arch Deluxe. In the mid-1990s, executives had a strange idea. They believed their brand had a problem. They thought adults saw their restaurants as kid food, and they wanted to change that. So they created a burger specifically marketed to adults. The Arch Deluxe was bigger, more sophisticated. It had a special sauce designed to taste more grown up. And then the company launched one of the biggest advertising campaigns in fast food history. Commercials openly mocked children. the ads basically said, "This burger isn't for kids," which was a strange strategy to say the least, because the entire business model depended on families. Kids loved the ads because they were funny. Adults, well, they were confused. The burger itself, it was fine, but it cost more. And people didn't really want a grown-up fast food experience. After spending tens of millions promoting it, the Arch Deluxe quietly vanished. But it remains one of the most interesting examples of a company misunderstanding its own audience. Now let's talk about one of the most ridiculous ideas ever approved by a corporate boardroom: the KFC Double Down. This sandwich didn't have a bun. Well, not in the traditional sense anyway. Instead, 2 fried chicken fillets acted as the bread. Between them, bacon, cheese, sauce, and, well, that was it. No veggies, no carbs, just a pile of protein and questionable decision making. It looked insane. Nutritionists were horrified. The internet loved it. The Double Down became a viral sensation. People ordered it out of curiosity. Some people ordered it because they genuinely loved it. Others ordered it just to prove they could survive it. It wasn't really designed to stay on the menu forever. It was more like a stunt. But it worked. For a brief moment in time, the Double Down dominated food conversations across the country. And then, just as quickly as it appeared, it vanished. Now let's cross the fast food map to Burger King and their Chick King sandwich. This one is wild. Imagine a fried chicken sandwich so massive it looked like a full-on chicken breast had gone rogue and decided to replace the bun entirely. It was topped with lettuce, tomato, and that mysterious BK sauce that tastes suspiciously like magic. It was a chicken sandwich that demanded your respect. Fans loved it, especially at the height of the chicken wars. Social media exploded with pictures of the monstrosity. People debated, is this genius or a crime against chicken? It was insanely heavy, completely unapologetic, and almost impossible to eat gracefully in public. Which, to be fair, only added to the legend. Why did it disappear? Well, it's simple. It was operational chaos. The fillets were huge, prep times were long, and the sandwich clogged the assembly line. Simply put, the system just couldn't handle it. It's a classic example of fast food ambition meeting real-world logistics. A sandwich too big, too bold, and too delicious for the system to survive it. Hopefully Wendy's Twitter won't come for us on this one, but now it's time to talk about their Super Bar. If ever a fast food item dared to dream big, this was it. Picture this: an all-you-can-eat buffet inside a fast food restaurant. Salads, baked potatoes, soups and pastas, all laid out in one glorious spread. It was chaos disguised as a concept, and the people loved it. It wasn't just a meal, it was an event. Lunch became an experience. Kids brought their friends. Office workers scheduled meetings around it. and everyone marveled at the audacity of a fast food chain doing something as ambitious as this. Why did it vanish? Well, once again, it was an operational nightmare. It was just too much for the system to handle. It was ambition in edible form, crushed by real-world limitations. Despite all of this, fans still talk about it. On Reddit, YouTube, and nostalgic forums, Super Bar stories pop up regularly. They say things like, "You haven't lived until you've piled that baked potato with 3 soups and still had room for a salad." It's fast food legend status, a menu item that existed once, briefly, and then burned itself into a memory. Fast food kitchens are assembly lines. Speed is king. Complexity kills items. Too many ingredients? That equals chaos. Profit margins matter, and some fan favorites just don't pay for their space on the menu. Menus may look huge, but most items are built from the same small set of ingredients. Truly different items? Well, they tend to have a shorter life expectancy. So the next time you hear someone talking about a discontinued fast food item that they miss, they're not just remembering a sandwich, they're remembering a moment. A time when the menu felt a little more experimental, a little more chaotic, a little more fun. And somewhere out there, in the graveyard of fast food history, those menu items are still waiting for a comeback. Because if there's one thing fast food companies love, it's nostalgia. And every once in a while, a legend returns. Let us know down in the comments if we missed one of your favorite discontinued fast food items. Tell us what your favorite one of all time was. However, all this talk about delicious menu items that are no longer here is making me pretty hungry. So until the next time, it's time to grub.